Hip-hop started with the DJ, and that has changed a lot over the last several decades. Once humble background players, DJs have evolved to the forefront of creative expression. The pioneers doing more than spinning records, but shaping the very soul of the genre. From block parties to sold-out arenas, DJ Cut Creator has been the architect of his own musical journey. And I'm honored to sit down with this hip-hop icon as he peels back the layers of his legendary career, sharing moments that have defined the very essence of hip-hop.
I am so honored to be sitting here with my next guest, DJ Cut Creator. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You are just legendary, iconic. I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me.
Thank you.
But first and foremost, I just want to tell you, welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
You're officially calling Florida your new home?
Yes, I am.
Wow, what brought you here?
Just change, new opportunities. Bought a house and just want to relax a little bit while I work a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about Florida is appealing to you?
It's the Sunshine State.
At that part.
After so many years, yeah, the cold doesn't work with me anymore.
So you traded the snow of New York, and then you went down south, and you caught a little bit of taste of the heat. So
yeah, but it still was cold there too.
It is, it is, and it still gets cold here too.
Oh yes.
It's just a different type of cold, I like to tell people.
Right.
So there's some amazing things. So welcome to Florida.
Thank you.
Big thing. We're happy to have you here, and we're also really excited to have an opportunity to see you performing at the Timeless Hip Hop Brunches coming up in February.
Yes, I am.
And that's at Proper in downtown, and such a great venue. Have you visited the venue yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're going to love it. It's a stunning venue, and big shout out to MC Search for bringing us together.
Yeah, MC Search, third base, yes.
Yes, absolutely, and he is throwing the brunch, the Timeless Hip Hop Brunch, but beautiful venue. The one thing that I really love about this venue is that it's all vinyl.
Right.
And I feel like people are starting to really kind of catch back on to vinyl, because now when you go to buy a record, they're expensive again.
Oh yes, oh gosh, yes they are.
What is it about spinning vinyl that you love compared to the digital element with computers nowadays?
Believe it or not, I like the little critters, the crackling, yeah. That's always fun, you know. Like you don't hear the clean sound, but you hear the crackling sound, and that's authentic to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love the pops and the crackles, because I feel like it brings that nostalgia back and just reminds me of listening to records.
And I think also the changing of the record, going from one to another, not just, one platter there, 12-inch. The going from one to another is always fun.
That's a skill, though. That's a big time skill.
Right.
So how do you, whenever you're DJing with vinyl, because I know you got to carry crate after crate after crate, or have somebody carry it for you. How do you line yourself up to be efficient?
Well, it's hard because, like, in the digital era where we are now, you can, you have so much, you can make playlists and all that. Vinyl, you're kind of limited. You're limited on what you have. You might have 4 crates of records. You're like, oh, okay, what do I play? Where do I go? So it's very limited with the vinyl.
Nice.
So
with these love-themed brunches that you guys are going to be doing, you are going to be at the second Love Brunch, so it's after Thug Love, and you are going to be at the I Need Love Brunch, because you do need some love here. You're new here.
Yes.
Can you give us a little insight as to what people can expect you to play?
I Need Love.
Yes.
Teenage Love, Slick Rick. KRS-One's Love Coming At You. I can't go all
of
too
course,
detail.
I don't want to give away your entire set.
But I got a bunch of stuff I can.
Nice. How big is your record collection?
Believe it or not, not as big as it used to be.
Did some downsizing so you could move to Florida.
Yes, exactly. and to move with all those records, it's a pain in the behind. I mean, it's a total pain in the behind. Matter of fact, a young lady asked me not too long ago, her brother passed away, and she wanted to move the records. Come to find out, he had 160 crates of records. I'm like,
wow.
We need people to help you move this, because I can't move all this.
Right. Plus, they need to be kept in the right.
Oh, they were in immaculate condition.
Oh, you know.
Like when I mean immaculate, I mean inner sleeves, some were barely touched.
Wow.
No.
Perfect climate controlled
Yes,
environment. That's
yes.
phenomenal. I love stuff like that. I
Yes.
love it. So when we're talking about, you know, the vinyl era versus the digital era of DJing, you've had over 45 years in the game now, right?
Let me see, I've been DJing now. Yeah. No, actually, yeah, 45.
Spot on.
Yeah.
I did my math pretty well
Yeah.
there. So, what differences? What are the pros and the cons when it comes to the digital era that we're in right now?
Oh, the pros are I don't wreck my back. I don't wreck my back. I mean,
Yeah.
and I tell you that the longer the night goes, the heavier those records get. The longer the night goes, the heavier the records get.
I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
so.
Would you say it's not only is it saving your back, but does it save on cost? Because I know it used to have to be like, you know, everybody had a crew that would help, you know, or you'd be lugging them up by yourself. So not having to pay extra people to
Well,
help.
that and then the cost of the records. I mean, back then they were average of $2.99 to $4.99, maybe $5.99. At the point, an album was maybe $10.99. So the cost of it now, you know, was a little high too.
Yeah, I've seen records in stores, vintage stores, you know, $40, $50, $60, depending on whose album it is, what album, you know, if it was a top-selling album, top-charting type thing. But I've seen them going for just, I mean, crazy amounts, just because I think the nostalgia is bringing back in a lot of people, and they're getting record. My sister, she's 26 now. She's like, I got a record player. I'm like, Dad's had one for years. What's one of your favorite records that you have in your collection?
Ooh.
Or to
So
play?
many. I'm a big Public Enemy fan.
Nice.
I'm a big Run DMC fan. So I gotta have those.
Classics.
Yeah, I
Classics.
gotta have those.
Plus, then you have your own
Yeah,
records in your collection too.
yeah.
You know, before we go into your extensive resume, what is one of your first musical memories?
Well, we were talking off screen. It's probably my dad. My first concert, about 4 or 5 years old, Wilson Pickett concert, and I think it was at Radio City Music Hall. It was either Radio City or the Apollo. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. But when all the kids just kind of bum rushed the stage and just went after them, I'm like, you know, I was scared because I thought, you know, they were trying to hurt my dad and you know, the rest of the guys. But then, you know, at the end of the, you know, when we went backstage, he was laughing and joking, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That would be
Yeah.
terrifying, like you said.
Yeah.
You're like, no, don't hurt him, right?
Yeah.
I know your father played saxophone.
Right.
What was it like as a kid watching your dad in his musical element, and how did that inspire you in your career?
Well, it's unique because I don't know if you're old enough. They had a show called Ed Sullivan.
I do remember the Ed Sullivan show,
Yeah.
actually.
When Ed Sullivan came on and they performed on that was the biggest thing. Because, you know, I forgot what day it came on, but you watched it, everybody sat in front of the TV and watched, you know, and it was like the 3 minutes was highlight of my, you know,
Yeah.
that was my idol, actually, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And you played a few musical instruments yourself?
Yes, I played trombone, I played baritone, I played drums, and a little bit of keyboard.
I think you said some boxes too at one point. You played
Yeah.
boxes.
Percussions, yeah.
Yeah. So, with all of those things, what was it about being a DJ? Because I know when you started, it was a different era. It was a different time. That before the whole evolution of what the DJ is now.
Right, right. So what happened was in the 70s, I'm a funkster. I love funk. Parliament Funkadelic, Ohio Players, just all the funk. But we were coming out of the funk into disco. And it was kind of weeding out. Funk was weeding out. So I'm like, okay. I saw some guys playing. I'm like, that's pretty cool to play the music, And I got hooked that way.
Wow.
Just watching someone else, like, wow,
Yeah.
So.
When you started out being a DJ, what were you working with as far as?
Oh gosh.
What's your first?
Bare minimum. Bare minimum. I had Techniques 210s. No. I don't. No, I had some house brand stuff because I couldn't afford the Techniques at that point. So I had some house brand stuff. Then I went to the Techniques and the Gemini mixer and house-made speakers, homemade speakers.
Heavy.
Yeah. So.
When you started out DJing, where were you, like in time frame wise in your life? Like, were you still in high school or were you?
Oh yeah, I was about 14.
14.
Yeah.
Wow. 14. And so whenever you started, this was during a time where DJs would battle each other, and I mean there was these big parties. I never got to experience a New York block party of any kind.
Oh man, awesome.
So tell me what it was like, kind of being out there, being in your element as a DJ, and being in that environment of a block party.
It depends how the block was, right? If you had a battle, you have one DJ on one side of the street, and another DJ at the other end of the street, and it really was about who can get the most people in front. Or there was different ways, or you'll say, okay, we're gonna play an hour, you play an hour. Or you set up side to side, you play an hour, you play an hour. But it was fun. It was fun. It was trying to be who was more creative, who played the better tunes. It was just a lot of fun back then.
Hip hop has come a long way. A lot of different changes over the years, and different people of making their moments in history in hip hop. What is something about old school hip hop that you would like to see come back into the new age, if it could?
Oh, the creativity. Creativity. I think there was just so much and so many people, so many artists that never really shined, but they were so creative. Groups like the Cold Crush Brothers, Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash, and those guys, I think their creativity was awesome. Like, make 5 MCs sound like one. That was one of their routines. And it was cool. Yeah, I think that the creativity. And don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just go out there. Everybody doesn't have to sound the same.
That's something that I've noticed, is that we go through these spurts where people sound the same, and they say kind of like the same things. But I think, in my personal opinion, some artists have lost the meaning of lyrics over the years. So when you speak about creativity, you're talking more like beat-wise, or you're talking about lyrical and performances, all of those things put together?
I think it's a combination of everything. A combination of everything. Beat-wise, prime example, we had a song on LO's 14 Shots to the Dome album called Crossroads, where we used the orchestra, and it was awesome. I mean, it didn't really do well, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I love. So there's a thing about the older hip hop that I love. Old school hip hop. They have the rock element in there too. You hear the electric guitars in the music all put together. So I think that when I hear newer music that does that, it makes me kind of like think back and kind of appreciate that song a little more. I love all the different elements of different genres put together to make an amazing song too.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So, how did you and LL have been friends? You're not only his official DJ, his hype man, and his musical director,
Right.
but you're also his friend.
Yeah, well, let's clear this up right now. As of right now, I'm retired from that.
You are retired?
Yeah.
This is
From
breaking
him.
to me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I'm retired from that right now.
Okay.
But yeah, we grew up 2 blocks away from each other. I've known him since he was like 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
He was like a little brother to me. Yeah, he's, I guess 3-4 years younger than me. So that's how that bond came.
How did you? What was it like when you saw young LL and you? I mean, he's not much younger. We said 3-4 years younger than you.
Yeah.
You're doing a DJ. How did he ever come about getting into music with you?
I tell this story all the time. He was a hyper kid, like really like one of those kids. Sit down, you know.
Well, he has a lot of energy.
Yeah, a very lot of energy.
He's a great performer for that, though.
Yeah, but what had happened was he always wanted to let me rap, and I'm like, nah, get out of here. So one time I just let him rap, and we were like, oh, this kid is good, and that's how it really kind of stuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after when you started getting it, was it kind of like a thing when he got his first record deal? Were you with him at that point, or how did you come along with him?
I actually was going to school.
Okay.
And he got it, and when he got it, I didn't believe him. And when he got it, originally I was just going to be his road manager.
Okay.
I was going to be his road manager, and he had another DJ. This is an interesting story. I'm not the original cut creator.
Okay. I read your original name. You changed your name.
Right.
It was Cool J, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And my last name is Philpott, but you know, people used to call me Philly Phil.
Okay.
So the other cut creator, which I just did one show with us, his name was Cut Creator. So when we did the show, he just panicked. So I stepped in, and that was it.
And you owned the name.
Yeah.
Was there any? So when LL came out, was that Cool J kind of like a conflict there?
Yes,
okay.
because he was a solo artist. He wasn't like Run DMC, you know. So it was a conflict. So I took the name Cut Creator.
And you've owned it. And
I've owned it ever since. Yeah.
You've done.
No disrespect to Philip. I forgot. I don't remember his last name, but he, bless him.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even think he DJ'd after that no more. To be honest with you.
Sometimes it's like that. You go and you think, hey, this is great. This is what I'm about, and all of a sudden you're there and you're like, nah, this isn't it.
We're talking about 84, maybe.
Okay.
1984.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been Cut Creator since 1984.
Nice. I think LL said it best. What's my DJ's name?
Yeah.
Cut Creator. Yeah. But he also wrote tribute for you.
Right.
And that was on Bigger and Deffer.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
We want to talk about
Go Cut Creator Go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a tribute record off the Chuck Berry Johnny Be Good song. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Doing. Yeah.
What did over the years you've heard people with Rock the Bells and you hear that when he says, "What's my DJ's name?" Cut Creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how does that feel when you hear the audience say that?
I get sick of it.
Do you?
Yes. No, I'm joking. No.
Probably like when I said it, you're like, oh, here she goes.
No. No, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
When people, in different countries that don't even speak English know it, that's awesome.
That's right, because you've toured worldwide with LL over the years.
Man, I don't know how many times we didn't tour the world.
What's one of your favorite places? One of the most memorable favorites for you, performance-wise?
Japan is always great. London is always good. And I would say Dubai.
Dubai?
Yeah.
Nice. Was it the
I had a challenge in Dubai. That's why I was like, okay.
Wait, okay, so wait a minute. I want the details. What was the challenge?
Well, this was the problem. The guy, the promoter says, yo, man, we want classic hip hop. I'm like, oh, I'm great. And when I got there, I started playing some Biggie and Tupac, and I guess the owner of the club, beautiful club, he got, told the guy to take me off. I said, what happened? And what happened was, it was more of a dance and house type of.
Oh, okay.
But I adapted so well, and I came back. I said, "Oh, this is what you want? All right, I got you."
Nice.
And I came back with the dance set. So.
Was it dance, like hip hop dance, or like the old house that?
It was more like club,
Club dance music.
Yeah.
Got you. So they didn't really mean that what they said initially, because they didn't know what you were coming with.
Yeah.
Who, when we talk about your time with LL and the group dynamic, you guys have been through a lot together as friends and as artists working alongside each other. Right. What is one of the moments that you look at and you say, hey, that's something I'm never going to forget because it was a great moment between all of us?
Well, 2 years ago, inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 2021. Yeah. And we all were back on stage together for the first time, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was something that I'll never forget.
I bet. I mean, just having that opportunity, but to be there with people who are like your family, right? Mm-hmm. Right.
And I guess, to be honest with you, to really think about it, the first time we were on Soul Train.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they tape it and air it maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. And when I sat down and watched it, I was like, I was on Soul Train. Because Soul Train was a staple on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did you go down the Soul Train? Did you get a chance to dance?
Oh no.
Come on, you wanted to though.
That wasn't happening. I got 2 left feet.
Oh man. I bet that was just an amazing set to be on, and and
to be honest with you, the studio was probably a little bit bigger than this.
It's crazy what TV makes it look like, right? Because it does look huge, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, all the room for people to dance and everything. But E-Love, he got shot, and I thought it was just the one, but you said it was a couple different times. She's like, which one? Which time?
Earl Mathias, E-Love. What happened was, we were in, the first time he got shot, we were in Jackson, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And we used to have these vans come follow the tour. And that way we can do our local whatever, go, mall, whatever. So we, outside this arena.
Is this in the 80s?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was 87. We were on tour at the time with Public Enemy, Houdini, Dougie Fresh, Eric B. and Raquel. And so we went to Dairy Queen. All right, we're going to go get some snacks. Mm-hmm. And I guess they mistaken him for somebody and chased us. I'm like, what's going on? We were like, freaking out.
Going to get ice cream.
Yeah, and they shot him in the buttocks.
Oh, man.
But the more serious time, we were home. I wasn't with him. Normally, I would have been with him. I wasn't with him. He was pretty bad. He's a tough dude.
That was in New York, right?
Yeah. This was in Queens, yeah.
Okay. What, when you heard that he got shot, what was your immediate? Did it go back to Mississippi again? You're like, where?
No. What happened was, we didn't have cell phones back then. Mm-hmm. So someone called me and asked me, yo, is that true that happened to Earl? I'm like, what happened to him? So, it was, speculation. So I called his mom. I said, hey, how you doing, Miss Mathias? Trying to find out but not ask her
Right, in case she didn't know.
Exactly.
As a mother's nightmare.
Yeah. So she said, "You haven't heard?" You know, she has an accent. She said, you haven't heard?" So then she told me, and then I shot over to the hospital, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah. How did that change the group's dynamic after that?
Actually, that was pretty much it for him. He never really joined us. You know, maybe one or two occasions, but that was pretty much it for him.
So, you know, everything that you did after him, did it feel the same for you guys, or did you feel like you had a missing link at any point?
A lot of things changed in the course of the years. You know, different managers, you know, missing people, you know. Then Bob came in, then Bob left, and Earl was there, then Earl was gone, and so a lot of the dynamics changed, and it was, you know, it started getting more professional for me, you know, just doing it that way.
Was he part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yes, he was there.
So he did eventually come back, just not in that aspect.
Yes, he was there.
Got you. So I also noticed on your resume when I was doing a little digging on you, sir, because I try to get as much information as I possibly can. You know, you've dabbled in acting.
Oh God, yeah, I hate it. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. It's just so time consuming, and it's.
What movie were you in?
I was in Baps. I was in Crush Groove. I was in The Hard Way. I was in little parts, and what other parts? I don't remember.
That's okay. You said it's a lot of work. So when you were on set, okay, versus touring and performing and with LL, compare that with.
And
being
then
on a
I'm sorry to cut
set.
you off. Then I was on the first season of NCIS Los Angeles as a
Really?
production assistant.
Oh.
I'd rather been no.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
But still, that's really cool. I like that show. Compared to performing, you know, in front of this huge concert, or you know, on tour and going from venue to venue, how does that differ from being on a movie set?
Well, I feel more in my element.
Do you?
For you know, stage managing, music direction, DJing, I feel more in my element.
Yeah.
Where I'm in control, you know, pretty much all the way.
So you like the whole organization of the flow behind the scenes to make that production happen.
Right.
I got you. I know a few people here that do that same thing for that very reason. So in fact, Joe, our director, is doing that. You also have made yourself this amazing radio personality and programmer.
Oh yeah. I traveled. I had stints in Canada, Houston, Texas, which I won an air award. Austin, Texas, New Haven, Connecticut, and I'm still doing radio now.
You are?
Yeah, I'm doing radio now for Classics 102.9 in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they they obviously stream? So
Yes, they do.
Okay. I know you did some work over here in Tampa at was it JJ?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow,
So
yeah.
how was that? Did that kind of entice you to come to Florida at that point?
Well, I always loved Florida.
You have?
Always loved Florida. Yeah, Wild was wild. Yeah, that was a good time back then.
What all did you do? Like
I did a Sunday show called The Thunderstorm.
okay,
Where,
I like that title.
Yeah, because they had the Quiet Storm and all that, so we would ring the thunder, and it would rain. And this is a true story. It would rain every night I played.
You know, I firmly believe that because this is Florida and it rains a lot. It's been raining a lot this winter, but I believe that, and that's why I can appreciate the title of that show. What other shows were some of your favorite moments in radio that you've had over the years?
Power 97.5 in Houston was good. I had my own slot, 10 to 2. So I did hip hop for 2 hours and slow jam for another 2 hours.
Nice.
So it was cool.
Yeah.
I had a big office to myself, and everybody was gone. So it was fun.
Did you ever have the opportunity to be on air in New York?
No, not at all. One came up not maybe a couple of years ago, but it fell through. Syndicated, I can do it from home,
Right.
and I can do that here too. I'm set up where I can do pretty much anything in my house.
Yeah, that's also a thing that has changed about radio as well as just in music in general. The whole streaming capability, the social media presence, and building your brand on social media, and just kind of keeping up with everything. That's like a full-time job in
Yes,
itself.
it is.
And
Yes.
then you have your work that you do, your creative side that you do. How do you find the balance? I know
Well,
right now you're on a tiny vacation.
Yes,
Because you just moved
yes,
here,
we just moved
literally.
here, and when we moved here, it was funny because we came right before the Christmas holiday. So we're talking about moving 2 places, coming down here, unpacking, then having family come down.
You
And
hosted Christmas.
yes, yes,
Phyllis, bless you for that. My goodness, you guys.
yeah.
How many people did you have at your house?
I forget. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5?
5 or 6.
5? I forgot.
So it wasn't like you had 20 people at your house.
Oh, no.
Okay, so it was a small gathering.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's perfect. That's perfect. But still, that's a lot of work. And then you have to factor in going to get all the stuff to make your house, accommodating for the holidays. I don't even like to do that.
Well, the one interesting part, half the furniture came, and then the other half was, it'll come next Monday. It was just unique.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So you also produce, mix, master.
Yes, I don't produce that much no more. I'm kind of, cause it's weird. The production it's just weird. It's weird. I don't know what these kids like now. I don't know what's good. I'm lost. I'm kind of lost in it.
Yeah. Well, it's like we've been saying, just the style of music has changed, but I don't know if you feel the same way, but every day there's a new trend. So trying to put your finger on what people like is very difficult.
Right.
And plus with social media, you're getting all of these elements from now. You're getting everybody's opinion. And they don't even know what they like.
Right.
They like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
They don't even know half the time that the beat that they used is from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
It's the same.
You know who I can appreciate a lot? Bruno Mars.
Yes.
He brought back a style that's awesome. And I'll tell you another guy that's really burning the charts up. October London.
Okay.
If you close your eyes and listen to him, you thought you were listening to Marvin Gaye. I kid you not. He's the hottest thing out right now.
Really? So when you said Bruno Mars, his performance level too, I think is something, the performances are a lot different now. But when you have a good performer that puts on a show, that was one of the best things about going to a concert was
Right.
you knew what kind of show you were in for. You're like,
Right.
that's going to be a show.
Right.
Now it's kind of like, okay, I think it's going to be
Yeah.
decent.
Well,
you never know. And usually Beyonce, her shows are like just over the top and amazing. I mean, they have pyrotechnics and all kinds of stuff.
I've learned from, even in hip hop, we learn from a good bunch of guys,
Absolutely.
which was Run DMC, Curtis Blow, the Fat Boys, Houdini, Flash and the Furious Five. Everybody tried to outdo everybody back then. And this is before pyrotechnics and all that.
Yeah.
So we all learn from each other, and what you get, to me, is what you get back. What you give is what you get back. So I think the performance part is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you said about other performers that you really like, have you listened to Teddy Swims?
No.
He's got a blues element that you've got to listen to. He's phenomenal. I love his voice and his whole. It brings me back to really good blues music. So
There was 2 young gentlemen. They were, 15 and 16. They were out of Austin, Texas, called the Peterson Brothers. They were really good.
They're real good.
They're a little bit. They came up under.
I'll write that down.
Junior, I forgot his name. It'll come to me. But they came up under the famous blues guy out of Austin. Junior, I forgot his last name. Junior.
Gary Clark?
Gary Clark Jr.
Yes,
Gary
sir.
Clark Jr.
He is a performer.
Yeah, he came up under him.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to hang out with them a little bit out there.
Did you ever go to South by Southwest?
Yeah.
How'd you like that festival?
It was interesting. I lived out in Austin. So,
oh, you did? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So,
You know, everything's bigger in Texas, isn't it?
no, it isn't. Maybe egos. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
You know, I always said the food portions are. Because I lived in Texas for 5 years.
Oh, yeah, what
I
part?
lived McAllen. I was in McAllen at my first TV station there. So we were south of Corpus on the border. The food portions in Texas are so much bigger than they are here in Florida.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of food and
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of brisket
Yeah,
for your
they love
money.
the brisket,
The
yeah.
brisket is something else. I
Yeah.
love, Austin is weird, but I liked
Yeah.
it. I liked it just because it has such a nice, a very good nightlife in terms of, you know, all the different types of music that comes
But
out
do
of it.
you know, you want to hear something crazy? They're getting ready to take all that away. 6th Street is getting ready to be no more.
No.
Yeah. I found that out last week.
Really? What are they planning on putting there?
Condos or something like that. And
Man,
yeah.
that's a shame.
Yeah.
I think the Blind Pig is down there. I think that's the name of the place.
Yeah.
Where I heard this just phenomenal guy playing a flying V one night, and I was just like, man, to have a place like that, where music is just so vibrant, and to take it away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, what all the companies, major companies, are going there.
Yeah.
I know
Tesla's out
Apple is there. Tesla's out there. They just built a new stadium out there for the soccer team. So they don't have no time for that. And then the people that own the businesses can't afford it.
Right. Austin is very expensive city. Very expensive city. That's why I didn't live I lived way far south of that. But you know, anytime you go into Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, all of those areas are so expensive. When the cost of living in Texas really isn't that bad if you live in the right area, you know. So coming back into this brunch experience, are you looking forward to the whole month of love brunches at Prophet?
I'm looking forward to my day.
Your day?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Because you need some love.
Yeah, you know, I could spread love and just, you know, play some good, you know, classic hip hop and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like being back and kind of, I mean, you and Serge have been friends for...
Oh, many years, since 87 maybe, yeah.
Somebody called you?
Oh yeah, I tripped out because I didn't know he lived in Orlando, and I saw his Facebook page, and I got in touch with him like that, and he was like, "You're kidding me?" I said, "Nah, I live." Well, his direction's a little different than mine. He thought he lived 12 minutes from me. Come to find out, he lives like 45 minutes from me.
Depends on the time of day and what roads you take, I think, in Florida. That's one thing we were talking about before we sat down for this interview was the traffic just in Central Florida alone. Depends on what time of day you're going anywhere. And if you have a deadline to be there, you better leave early because
Right.
that traffic does not stop. My father, he lives in Volusia County near Daytona, and he said, "I'd love to have dinner with you, sweetheart. You want to do 6 o'clock in Orlando?" I said, "No, I love you, but no. Can we do 7 or 8? Because trying to get anywhere in the city at 5 and 6 o'clock is going to take you a couple hours to do."
Right.
The thing about, I'm going to teach you something real quick about Orlando. Orlando is exactly an hour away from Orlando. And we don't have the public transportation like New York.
Right.
We're getting there, but, you know, are you
Right.
ready for that? You ready for the drive?
Where we stay at is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. When we got to go to Orlando, excuse me, when we go to Orlando, we'll be all right. But I don't
kinda
need
out
it.
of
I
the
don't need
way.
it every day.
No, I agree with that. I'm the same way. That's why I live out of the city way, because
Yeah.
I grew up a country girl. So
Right on.
I can appreciate quiet and
Right.
crickets. there anything that you would like to tell people when you see aspiring DJs or you see aspiring artists from your legendary moments in hip hop that you've had in your career alone? What would you tell them? Because I know people, they always look for little tidbits of advice to get them going.
Don't be scared to be creative. Go for it. If you feel you want to try something different, who says we're wrong? Just try it. You know, don't be scared. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're speaking towards your name, Creator.
Yeah.
Cut the Creator.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Well, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing you at Proper. And
Thank you.
I hope everybody comes out and just to show you some love, especially in the month of February.
Right.
And I wish you all the best here.
Thank you
I hope
for having
you
me.
love it. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come be with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's going to do it for this episode of Riff on This. Stay locked in tight. I'll have another episode coming to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Riff on This, and a huge thank you to our special guest, hip-hop icon DJ Cut Creator, for spending time with us on set today. And thanks again to MC Search for making the connection possible. I appreciate you as always. Be sure to follow Cut on Instagram or Facebook by searching DJ Cut Creator. And don't forget, you can link me on my social media. Just search Samara Kokinas News 6 on Facebook. On Instagram, search Samara Kokinas. And before we go, a huge thank you to our behind-the-scenes production team, Derek Mosier, Ryan Haley, and director Joe Grennan. Please take some time to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget, sharing is caring, so tell a friend about us too. You can find videos of all the podcast episodes on clickorlando.com/riffonthis. Until next time, friends.